G'day YouTubers, never seen you around. How are you guys going? Well, a long time ago, like I was in late primary school. I was probably about 10 or 11 years old, right? I remember I was having this dream where I was doing something like running around my house, or I don't know what I was doing. But then I noticed that my house looked a bit different, like something was out of place. And I was confused, but then it just hit me, just like that. I was dreaming. That's why everything was so weird. So I thought, oh my gosh, I'm dreaming. So what did I do? I screamed. But I noticed that I couldn't hear myself. But it was like I was speaking in thoughts, if that makes sense. Like, I was thinking, you know how you think in your head, but that was coming out of my mouth, but that's not a noise, and it was really freaky. But of course, I was dreaming, that's why. And then I thought, oh my god, what can I do? And at the time, I was obsessed with buildings. So I decided that I would jump off the world's tallest building because I could do that because I won't die because it's a dream. Of course, I woke up. I woke up feeling pretty weird, and the memory is pretty fuzzy because it was that long ago. But that, I remember, is my first lucid dream. A lucid dream is basically a dream in which you're aware that you're dreaming. So you're in the dream and you're just like, holy crap, I'm dreaming right now. I've had quite a few of these in my lifetime, though they are very rare. I could probably remember, I'd say like if I got a rough number, it's about 10 to 15 in my lifetime. But yeah, how it generally goes is the dream is just going along like I'm watching a movie or whatever. And I'm believing everything that's going on. Yeah, that's normal. Oh, look at that guy flying. Yep, perfectly fine. Until suddenly I think, oh my gosh, I must be dreaming. That can't be real. Hey, wait a minute. Fuck, that's because I am dreaming. And usually I wake up. So yeah, this has got me interested into like the neurobiology of sleep and dreaming. Because it's just so weird. Like, I thought to myself, why is it that when you're dreaming that you aren't aware? Like, why do you believe everything that's happening? And I thought to myself recently that, hey, I'm basically psychotic when I'm dreaming because I'm hallucinating so bad. Like, the graphics are pretty good. Compared to just like daydreaming and visualizing in your head. Like, it's actually there in front of your face, like virtual reality, except it's a dream. You know what I'm talking about. And then, the most important thing, you have your hallucinations, whatever, but you have extreme delusions. Like, the things that happen don't make any sense. I mean, a lot of what actually I dream about is ordinary, but it's just out of the place, like they're unplanned things, like I'm taking exams for subjects I'm not doing. So if I was able to, in the dream, recall memory, I'd be like, hey, why am I doing this exam? In the dream, it makes perfect sense. Like, I don't even question it. Like, that's another thing I've been interested in with people who are psychotic. Why don't they have insights? Doesn't their delusions, can't they see that it doesn't make sense? Okay, now this next lucid dream really made me question reality. Okay, so in the dream it goes that I'm at a train station with a friend. I don't know who this friend is, I don't even know their gender, but they were a really close friend and they could have been my boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. Like, they were somehow like significant to me. And I thought something's a bit strange about this train station. So I looked to see where we are, and the name of the station made absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. So from that, I concluded to myself that I'm dreaming. Then I got excited. Oh my gosh, a lucid dream. I can do anything I want. So I proclaimed my excitement to my friend, and we decided that I was going to kill somebody. Yep, kill somebody. So yeah, then this friend pointed out a potential victim that I would kill, and it was some girl, and I thought to myself, no, she looks too nice, I couldn't kill her. And then my friend goes to me like, huh? She's a figment of your imagination, why not? And then I thought, oh yeah, well, I can't kill you. I can't kill you. You're my friend, but you don't exist. And yeah, that kind of did make sense. And I was like, well, yeah, I don't want to kill you, but you don't even exist. And then the friend's like, oh, that was so freaky. So yes, I called that a false lucid dream because in the dream I thought I was aware that I was dreaming. I mean, I kind of was, but I was still so deluded. Like, first of all, like, I wanted to kill people, what the hell? Was that my own free will deciding that this is what I want to do, kill somebody? Well, yeah, actually, that is something I would do if I was having a lucid dream, just to see what would happen. Then I believed, like, I knew it was a dream, but I believed that the people in the dream were actually real people, which is why I was having difficulty killing them, or trying to kill them. And I was talking to this friend as if they were still my friend, like as if they still existed. That dream was pretty freaky. Thanks, brain, for that. But it did get me thinking, especially about free will, and like, can we control our minds, or our minds controlling us? Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, and that's the dream that really got me interested in this, are we psychotic and delusional while we're dreaming? As well as this other one I had where in the dream I was actually having a psychotic episode. And I was talking to the psychiatrist, and he was like, something like, your diagnosis is because you're dreaming, that's why you're psychotic. I was like, oh yeah, and then I woke up. What's also interesting about my lucid dreams is what causes them, or what I've been dreaming beforehand, and it usually has got to do with questioning reality, or something about altered states of consciousness, or whatever. And that's probably got to do with my general waking life. I spend a lot of time thinking like, oh, is this reality? So I think having that on the brain really helps you have a lucid dream, because then in the dream you're more likely to be like, hang on, is this reality, or am I hallucinating something here? Well, hang on, yes I am. Although that technique doesn't work, because obviously I'd be having a lot more lucid dreams, because a lot of the dreams I do have is about hallucinating or something like that, or being psychotic, and it doesn't click that it's a dream. Another common theme in my dream is doing hallucinogenic drugs. That's a tongue twister. Hallucinogenic drugs. So yeah, the common ones, I'll be doing either LSD or ecstasy in the dream. Like, here's this interesting one I wrote it down. It happened in 3rd year when I was doing this subject called sleep, drugs and altered awareness. Come on, then I definitely had that on the brain. So yeah, at the time I was studying for the exam. So in the dream, I was dreaming that we were in one of the classes in a tutorial with my lecturer, and we were sitting in our groups, and I was sitting with a group of friends studying for the exam, or whatever the hell we were doing. But we were learning about LSD. Okay, so in the dream, my lecturer, who's actually now my PhD supervisor as a side note, but anyway, she brought us around LSD paper. Well, that's what it was called in the dream. It was like that brown paper lunch bag, but perforated, so it's like a stamp. And she bought us those, and she said, you may try one, because one won't do any, but don't you dare do any more. So of course, I grabbed a handful and thought, oh, fuck like, yeah, LSD paper, I'm finally going to try drugs. So after we got our LSD papers, we went outside into this white corridor which had all bean bags, and we sat on the bean bags in our groups. And I was laughing away about the word drugs, like, it's so funny, drugs, we're taking drugs, our lecturer gave us drugs. But yeah, then one of the friends points out to me, hey, LSD doesn't make you high, it makes you hallucinate. And I was like, hey, I'm not high, I haven't even licked the paper yet. And it's because I don't know which side to lick. So I licked both sides of the paper. Then these cops came in and told us off for loitering in the corridor, because in the dream it was against the law to loiter in white corridors. But then they moved on or something, and I was still laughing away about how hilarious this was. It was just like the episode in South Park where the guy handed around the marijuana, except our lecturer gave us LSD paper. And then I was complaining, going, I'm not hallucinating yet. And it hit me. Holy shit, I'm hallucinating everything that's going on because I'm dreaming. So yeah, as I realised that I was dreaming up the whole thing, I was trying to control the dream. Like, the police officers were there, so I tried to control the gun out of their holsters or whatever, but I couldn't really do it, because the more I was concentrating on controlling the dream, the more the dream kind of fell apart. And eventually, instead of being a dream, I was waking up, and it turned into a daydream, basically. So I was just thinking it instead of actually visually hallucinating the whole thing, if that makes sense. So yeah, lucid dreams are quite interesting, but they really do make me question, why aren't we always lucid in our dreams, or aware, or have insight that we're dreaming? Why do dreams... first of all, I barely know what the purpose of dreaming is, and then why do we need to believe what's happening in the dream? I mean, from my experiences with lucid dreams, in order to continue the dream, you have to be able to believe in it, because as soon as you become aware, it's difficult to maintain the dream and it starts to fall apart. And you have to concentrate a little bit to keep it going, but you have to not focus so hard, otherwise you become aroused, awake, and then you can't dream anymore. My take on this, or what my idea is you've got arousal, which is the state of being awake, and if you're aroused in your dream, you wake up, basically, because arousal is the level of wakefulness. Although the problem with this idea already is when you have nightmares or any intense emotional dreams, you're probably feeling quite awake in the dream, but you're not. But I've noticed, though, with those dreams, the more exciting or fear-inducing or whatever it gets, I'm probably just going to wake up. And then you've got awareness and self-awareness, and that's probably kind of controlled by the arousal system itself. So as you probably need a certain amount of arousal or wakefulness to be aware of yourself. Now, I know there's a million wrong things with that explanation already as soon as it comes out of my mouth, which is why I'm interested in hallucinogenic drugs, because that kind of distorts your sense of reality and your sense of arousal or whatever, like a depressant down, a stimulant high. So I guess you can kind of compare LSD and MDMA. And I don't know to how you actually hallucinate, because I've read on Wikipedia or whatever, they tend to call these things psychedelic drugs rather than hallucinogenics, because you don't actually hallucinate things, just distort your perceptions a little bit. Then you have psychosis, where you full on see things that aren't there, and then you believe things that aren't there. But you're fully awake though when you're psychotic, and I'm curious in what's the difference between dreaming and psychosis, because some people even call psychosis just wakeful dreaming. Because, yeah, so that's the comparison. When you're psychotic, you're awake but you're dreaming, but when you're having a lucid dream, you're dreaming but you're awake. When you're psychotic, you're awake but you're not aware, or you don't have insight to reality. But when you're having a lucid dream, what's interesting is that you're sleeping or not awake, but you do have insight and to reality or whatever. But the thing is, I haven't actually experienced psychosis for myself or hallucinogenic drugs, so I can't really compare them to dreaming. I mean, obviously when you're dreaming, everything is a hallucination. You're in a virtual world, basically. But as far as I see it, when you're psychotic, you hallucinate one thing in your world or whatever. So you might hear voices, so it's an auditory hallucination. But the most common thing is not everyone who's psychotic hallucinates. It's mainly about delusions, so having strange beliefs and thoughts. But yeah, the interesting thing about delusions is they're so certain to the person. You try to argue with them, hey, that's not true, that's how it happened, and they either get angry or they make an excuse to make the thought more congruent. Kind of like what happens in a dream, like your brain just comes up with reasons for why, flying is appropriate. Like, hey, everybody flies, that's normal. Like, that thought's just planted in your mind when you're dreaming.